winter wellness, it is so key. Wellness in general is always key, right? Because what I like to talk about in clinic is if we do nothing, we're actually trending towards disease, we're trending towards ill health, we're trending towards symptoms. So we always want to be walking and moving towards better health. Just the world that we live in today, that is the reality of our lives. So there's nothing like winter, influenza season, flu season, to really motivate us to pay attention to what is happening in our bodies. So we know the key nutrients when we do get sick, when we get that cold, when the kids get a sniffly nose. We're turning to vitamin A, we're turning to zinc, we're turning to all of vitamin C, obviously to help flush out our bodies, and a probiotic. You know those things. You also know, because I talk about it all the time, how central your gut health is to your immune system. 70% of our immune system's in our guts, right? So that is why we focus on your gut health so much. Anybody that comes into clinic telling me time again that they get colds, they get flus, we're always starting with your gut, because we want to strengthen your immune system so that you can fight off these bugs when they come, because we're all going to be exposed to bugs every single year. We just want you to have the best fighting chance possible. So your immune system, that's where we're looking at your probiotic rich foods or probiotics, your bone broth, your collagen, because we just want to give you the best gut possible, which is awesome. Oh, also with our immune nutrients, vitamin D, of course, that's why I'm sitting outside in the sun. But remember, a lot of New Zealanders are deficient in vitamin D. So I always want you to test. We want to know the numbers. We want to know the facts for your body so we can make it specific. We don't want to guess. We don't want you taking supplements unnecessarily, but we want you to get all the benefits. Now, what we don't really focus on when it comes to our immune system and winter wellness is how many of you have experienced this yourselves or a colleague, where you're working really hard and then you take your break to Fiji, which we won't be doing this year. Never been to Fiji, just saying. And suddenly you're sick and you're like, what? I finally slowed down. Why am I sick now? Well, if you're in a stressed out state, and there is time to be in stress when we've got deadlines, when we need to do things, but we cannot live 24 hours, 7 days a week in this stressed out response without there being consequences on our bodies. So when we're in this stressed out response, we're producing a whole bunch of cortisol. And when we keep producing cortisol and more and more and more cortisol, we lower our immune system. We cannot fight bugs and bacteria, and we're weakening our immune system. So it is getting depleted. So guess what? If you're stressed out, working really hard, lots of things going on, money worries, emotional worries, whatever it is, stress in your body in terms of eating foods causing you inflammation, all sorts of different stresses, you're lowering your immune system, which means when you do slow down and something's going around in the ear, you are going to be more likely to pick these things up. So number one, and I have struggled with this and I've shared my struggles, and I know a lot of clients struggle with this too, is you have got to look after yourself. No longer see it as selfish. You need to see it as a priority. I never got that saying where it's like, take your own oxygen mask before helping your children if you're a mum. But now I see that it's actually more selfish not doing that. Because if you get knocked down, you can't help anybody, and you really can't do the things that you love and support your family, do your careers, whatever it is. In my industry, help people. Like, I saw it as being selfish for so long, not looking after myself in terms of the hours that I was working, because it meant that I couldn't see everyone that was asking for my help. And so I felt really bad. But the thing is, it's actually selfish doing that, because if I don't look after myself, I can't look after anybody else. Now, so that's a key thing. A couple of other things that I want you to think about is eating anti-inflammatory foods. Your biggest source of that is, and I talk about this in clinic all the time, we want to feed your prostaglandins, which are your anti-inflammatory hormones. Now, they need dietary fat, especially omega-3s from your diet. So you want to get salmon, but you don't want farmed salmon. So as much as you can get ocean caught salmon that hasn't been farmed, it's kind of free range. Sardines are quite another good option, and I know fish is really hard to get without mercury, and so it is a bit of a tough one. But omega-3s are essential. A range of good dietary fats are really essential because they are going to be anti-inflammatory. We've also got a few other key foods like your broccoli, because that pulls out your toxins, and we've talked about that on the hormonal series. Ginger, turmeric, if you can handle it, it doesn't cause you inflammation. Red onion is really important, and onion in general. Green tea is absolutely fantastic. Berries, cacao. Cacao is a game changer. That's why it's in my immune boosting smoothie, along with coconut, which is also fantastic. Your mushrooms, like I talk about mushrooms all the time, whether it's drinks or eating it, mushroom soup, and Brazil nuts, because they're a great source of selenium, and we need that. Often you just need about 3 a day. I'll sometimes muscle test them in clinic to find out how much your body actually needs. The other thing is we obviously need great melatonin, so that's your sleep. We need to be prioritizing that. When cortisol is high, melatonin's always low. You drive it down. So if you're in that stressed out state, you're not going to be sleeping well, and you're going to be running down your melatonin. Some sort of intermittent fasting can be really useful because it creates muscle atrophy, which is what I did the Facebook interview with Cynthia on. So if you want to learn more about that, she really goes into that lots. Another little thing that I use in clinic, especially if a client comes in coughing, is I will use silver spray. And so I'll just spray that. I'll sometimes gargle it in my mouth or in my nose. I'll also use salt, and I also use the red light therapy, because that really gets into your bones and joints and just flushes out any bugs that are in there. So there's a whole heap of things that we can be doing for our immune system. That's a lot more than vitamin D, vitamin A, zinc, vitamin C. Those are the common things that you've heard, but really we want to look at you, and they're great when you've got an acute cold going on, believe me, but we want to get you into the best health possible. We do not want you just responding. We actually want you building really great health. That's what I'm here for. That's why we use testing and not guessing in clinic. We want to set you up for the best health possible. We want you to have not only amazing winter wellness, but just amazing health, no symptoms forevermore. So pay attention to your body. Come in, let's get you tested. Let's see what's happening in your body so you can save time and money and get the best results possible.